So today I am sharpening a $5 knife off of Amazon with a no-name steel on a $300 stone. Now technically I have three $300 stones, so this is $900 altogether. But I'm not sure if we'll get through them all, but the reason why they are so expensive is because they are resin bonded diamond stones. So it has a mixture of diamonds mixed throughout a resin that, you know, becomes the stone. And it makes it possible to cut any steel very fast. And they last for a very, very long time, but the diamonds are what makes it expensive. Let's see how sharp it was from the factory. Well, it is not sharp at all. It will not even cut paper. I can feel there's a burr left on it, which obviously, you know, it's a super cheap knife. What do you expect, right? The thing with, ooh, yeah, this feels very soft. The thing with steels like this, them being one, no-name steels, and two, being as cheap as they are, you can pretty much guarantee they have crappy heat treatments and they're obviously low quality steel. They're too embarrassed to even tell you what steel it is. So, you know, it's probably just some sort of surgical stainless, and in most cases that means it's going to be super soft. Now the problem with that is that in order for steels to take a very sharp edge or a high quality sharp edge, the steel has to be properly heat treated. Otherwise, it takes a horrible edge and it, you know, absolutely won't hold an edge for crap. But even its ability to take an edge is very important on the heat treatment. Guys, I just want to bring to your attention, if you want to sharpen on some diamonds, check out this Tri-Stone. It's on sale right now at the time I'm filming this video for 25 bucks. I bought mine for 50, so it's half off right now, which for 50 bucks I thought it was an incredible deal because these are big diamond plates and there's 3 of them. It is a Tri-Stone. You got a 150, a 325, and a 1200 grit. So it's kind of a no-brainer with this thing. It is a heck of a deal right now. And it's basically the same thing as these, except for this is resin bonded diamonds. So these expensive stones we're using in this video are diamonds mixed throughout a resin. This is a layer of diamonds over the surface of the plate. So that's the reason why they're more affordable, because there's just less diamonds. These eventually will wear out, while these ones take years and years. However, this will still last a good long time for most people and is a perfect diamond plate for most people because diamond plates can be very expensive. So if you're wanting to get one, here you go. Now, the biggest problem we're probably going to face is going to be the burr. Because the steel is so soft, the burr might not want to come off. That's just the way it goes. Now, I haven't even accumulated a burr yet, which is surprising. Hopefully we can even get a burr. Wow. Now, I technically bought 2 of these. One actually came with a steel, and that was in 3CR, which I almost used that one instead. You can see this one's got grind marks from the factory from where they hit the belt, you know, on parts of the blade they weren't supposed to, and it's very rough. But like I said, what do you expect, you know, for such an affordable knife, you know? But the other one I bought did look a little bit better for 5 bucks. Like it's actually not too bad. It actually came with 3 knives for 5 bucks in 3CR. Now, is 3CR a good steel? No, absolutely not. It's a horrible steel, but it at least says the name of the steel. So I almost sharpened that one instead, but I figure I might as well take the worst one of the bunch. All right, we're starting to get a burr. It's crazy how long this is taking, you know, I mean, this isn't like razor thin behind the edge, but it's still pretty thin. It is a hollow grind. It's kind of weird because most chef knives are straight, full flat grinds. This actually has a hollow grind on it, which is surprising. And this stone is approximately 300 grit, right around there. All right, let's go to the other side. The burr's not very big. Table shifting. People ask me sometimes, what was the most difficult steel for you to sharpen? Wow, this side's coming up with a burr really quick. Probably just a heavy misgrind. But people ask me all the time about what's the hardest steel you've ever had to sharpen? And they expect me to say Maxace, Rex 121, S110V. But honestly, it's been gas station knife steels. Just cheap steels that have poor quality heat treatments on them, or maybe no heat treatment. You know, when a steel's not heat treated, it's not hard. So it's soft, and it needs to be hard in order to take that crispy edge. So the way they're able to make these knives so affordable is basically they're heat treated in mass production, basically like on a conveyor belt, where they can heat treat hundreds of them at a time and then rapidly cool them off. And since they're doing so many at a time and it's all robots doing everything, it obviously is going to make the quality control far, far, far less than if it was a smaller batch that had more quality control or had more control, period. Now, they're going to heat treat them on the softer side because the harder you make the steel, the more wear resistant it has. And they want to be able to grind these as fast as possible and pump them out. And it's not even humans grinding them. It's robots grinding them. Basically, robot grinds it, does everything, and then a human just comes by and inspects it. And we already know that that's not very good. Just look at the example I have. It's misground and it has grinds where it shouldn't, you know, from like accidental slips. So that's how they're able to do it. Going to the next stone. Now this knife is very bendy. I can feel, you know, it's flexing a lot, which, you know, some chef knives do just because they're so thin, but this not only feels very thin, it feels very cheap. But, you know, what do you expect it is? But all those little details are factors, you know, that you have to deal with when sharpening. Down to the misgrinds and, you know, everything. Obviously this one, you know, didn't even come with an edge, or at least not a paper shaving edge. Technically, I didn't need to use a $300 stone to sharpen this. I could have sharpened this on just about any stone because they are so cheap. All right, so, because the steel's so cheap, I should say, the steel's so cheap, you know, any stone will sharpen it. All right, so I'm gonna finish on this stone. So technically we use $600 worth of stones. I'm not gonna go to the mirror polished. This steel most likely wouldn't even take a good polished edge. And this is already a really good grit right here. This is about 1200 grit right here. It's even higher than I usually would prefer on a steel like this. So I start taking my time towards the end. So now we have my last burr. It's not even a big burr either. I'm gonna make it just a little bit bigger before I remove it. Normally I like having a nice small burr, but I have a feeling this one might give me a little trouble. So make it just a little tiny bit bigger. Hopefully it'll be easier to snap off. Now there's a balance there. You don't want it really big. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some reverse stropping passes, and we're gonna see if this stone was able to sharpen up this super cheap knife. Now this stone is made for high performance steels, not this cheap kind of, you know, these cheap steels. Now you can use them on whatever you want, but yeah, it does not feel good at all. Oh no. Huh. Let's do a couple forward passes. Now when I'm doing my burr removal, I'm not using any pressure. It's literally no pressure at all. I'm just trying to get the apex, or sorry, the burr that's on the apex to hit the stone, and then the stone will tear it off. So this is a strop with diamond emulsion. So this is also diamond. This is stroppy stuff. Everything I have in this video will be linked down in the description if you are curious. You can get more affordable versions of these stones. All right. Let's see. Was I able to make this cheap no-name steel knife sharp? And yes, I was. Not bad. Now this is a steel that will go dull immediately, so it's not gonna hold the edge for nothing, but you know, at least it got sharp. And you know, if you were on a super tight budget and this is gonna be your type of kitchen knives, you can still sharpen them. You can still sharpen them. It's just, you know, they're in some cases you might not be able to. It does depend. So I will say that this is not as sharp as some of my high quality steels or knives that have good quality steels with good quality heat treatments. Nowhere near. Yes, it's sharp, and to most people's standards, this would probably be very sharp. But to me, you know, it's adequate. You know, it's sharp, it's sharp enough to do the job, and that's what's important. And you know, for such an affordable cheap knife, you know, I'm happy with it. You know, I was almost wondering if it was going to be able to be sharpened. You know, not that these can't get sharp, but sometimes they can be very difficult just because, you know, the steel is so soft. It's almost like pushing Play-Doh rather than being able to sharpen. So yeah, not too bad. I could see, you know, in a lot of cases it becoming a struggle, especially if you get something like that's not even heat treated. So this does feel like it's at least heat treated, but you know, it's obviously a garbage steel. But you know, I was lucky enough to be able to get an edge on it. Now, like I said, if you're on a super tight budget like this, you know, get yourself a strop so that you can at least maintain the edges as long as possible, because with super cheap steels like this, they go dull so fast. You know, this is like a one use knife, 2-use knife, and then they're dull. So anyways, there you guys go. Just a quick sharpening on a $300 stone with a $5 chef knife. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.